Hey everybody, Gustavo Ferman here. Welcome into the flow. Whew. First show of 2026. Yeah. And again, we're going to start with a bang, of course. I got a great guest next. Her name is Henrietta Devine. Beautiful name, huh? She's a frequency architect and a teacher devoted to sound as a force of alignment and remembrance. Is that cool or what? She's also the creator of Sound Space Portal and Quantum Sound Institute. Wow, we had a great conversation about sound frequency and what it does to our bodies, our minds, our souls, and how we can get into alignment with beautiful sounds. Interesting, very cool, and soothing and inspiring, I would say, conversation with Henrietta. So get ready, everybody. Here we go. Into the Flow is back. Let's go. Into the Flow. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Wow.
everybody.
Great to be here back into the flow. I have been away for a bit, but I'm so happy to be back. Thank you for tuning in into the flow in Spotify and YouTube. And this is a great conversation once again. So blessed and grateful to have with me an amazing healer and beautiful girl and queen woman and all that great stuff. I don't really love your smile too. Such a beautiful smile. Let me introduce to everybody. We have Henrietta Devine, and I want to tell you a little bit about her. She's doing amazing. She's a founder and frequency architect devoted to sound as a force of alignment and remembrance. So that's really nice. I like that. She is the creator of Sound Space Portal and the Quantum Sound Institute, where she works at the meeting point of science, spirit, and embodied practice. Her work is rooted in presence, energetic literacy, and the intelligence of the human system itself. Wow, I love that. Her mission is simple and unwavering to guide others back to clarity, truth, and the deeper intelligence that already lives within us, deepening new energies of consciousness. Woo! Heavy and beautiful and
Thanks,
dense.
too. Thank
It was.
you.
It was me. It makes me want to dance. Yeah.
Yes.
Henrietta, welcome to Into the Flow.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that
Yeah.
was a great intro because right there, just listening to that explains so much on your intention, on your mission, and your what you're giving to all of us in the collective and all of us humans. Can you explain to me? Yeah, can you explain to me okay? So you're founder of your own. It's a Sound Space Portal and
hmm
Quantum Sound Institute, right? So how do
Yes.
you? Okay, so let's go from there. How do you start doing that? How do you get inspired to take action on that journey there?
I feel like this is one of those moments in life where you've been given information. You've been downloaded very specific information, and you are to execute. You are to create it out into the world. And this is one of those things where I had been playing singing bowls for many years. I've been coaching high-performing executives for decades using energy and frequency from that space. And so Sound Space Portal came to be because I needed a tenant in part of my building that I own. And I couldn't find a tenant. I thought, I wonder what it'd be like if I started playing my bowls for friends and clients out of that space, just temporarily while I look for a tenant. And within 3 weeks, everything about Soundspace Portal came to be, all of the direction, the vision for it, how it would expand. the method and modalities that we would go about it, the audience and community that we would be talking to around this. And because it was so clear for me and so aligned to who I am and what I have been doing, the execution and creation of it was just in the flow, as you would say. It was just
Mm.
so easy. And it felt, right? It felt very clear and joyful. Um, there was a forward motion that was just like constantly pulling me forward, knowing that this is the right way to go. And what's interesting about it is that that sensation of truth for me had happened many times before in my life and has happened in my previous apparel company as well. And so I was very used to that sensation of knowing that this is the path for me to follow, that this was the truth that's calling me forward, and that this is how I'm to create in the world and play right now.
Mm.
And because I knew that, uh, there was no doubt. It was just like, yes, and go. Yes, and go. Yes, and go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that when that unfolds that way, you know.
Hmm.
The path of I always say, you know, when we're in the right frequency and we everything just comes easier and simple. Like
Yeah.
things show up, you feel relaxed about things. I
Yes.
mean, I think in my case, you know, there's times where things are going so well and I get excited, where it feels like nervousness, but it's excitement. Like,
Hmm.
you know, the difference between that is like a nervous of maybe thinking, oh, am I doing the right thing? Versus like, I'm so excited that
Yeah.
this is happening and I'm like, wow, this is crazy and it feels good, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And it takes me to just the way we met. And I mean, we don't know each other that long, but I actually energetically, like I feel like I know you for a long time. It's crazy. Like I do, I just feel like even when I first saw you, when I first saw you, there was like this connection energetically where I'm like, wow, I, I, I don't know. It's a feeling, you know what I mean? I know this person, just the eyes. There's a lot of power in the eyes, you
Mm,
know. And I saw you. I'm like, just for everybody to know here that you're listening to. So it's a really good story because I went to see my friends in Vancouver, BC. I'm in San Diego right now, but in Vancouver, I went to see my friends play music at the this cool place. They play Latin music, and I wanted to just go say hi. And I feel really excited to go, and I haven't seen them for a while. And I wanted to dance, and I just got in there, and I feeling good. And that's the first thing to, in order to attract a lot of things, you have to feel good.
mm,
Your
for
energy
sure.
has to feel good. You have to just be with the frequency of source, which is all good all that time. And so I was like, I went in there and then I started dancing, having a good time with this really lovely another person that I met there, this girl, and we're dancing. And then I saw you and your friend Suzette, and then I started talking. I danced with her, your friend, and I saw you, and then we danced a bit, and it was just like so organically, so fun, and you know, and we talked, all of us talked, and had a good time, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna be working together. We felt it. We're gonna collaborate. I felt it. I'm gonna collaborate with Suzette when her doing some retreats maybe and things, and here we are, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm saying this story because it's fun, but also like to just reinforce what you said about how you found your path and you created what you have
Hmm.
created and how. So when do you actually started? You trained to play these instruments and the balls, and
Mm.
Have you trained into any sort of spiritual guidance in any way, or it just came all to you?
Oh, this is such a lifelong answer to that. So I'll
Make
make
it fit in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up playing Royal Conservatory music. So uh, all of that theory of understanding music and how notes play together, the rhythm, the tempo, and not only just like what is taught in Royal Conservatory, but who are all the greats and why are they so different in how they created music. And so music has been a part of my life. I played the flute, I've played percussion instruments, played the drums, the timpani, the chime, the xylophone. I learned how to play ukulele a few years ago. And so music has always been there. And it's also been part of like, what is the soundtrack to my life? Is there a song that is able to articulate some words or expression that I have not yet brought words to, right? And so we find that a lot with music that has lyrics. And music that doesn't have lyric, you can find that beautiful rhythm and flow that corresponds to an energetic feeling that you have or sensation. So for me, using music as a modality of experiencing life and adding to the sensation that I'm experiencing, as well as from, if we were to talk about like the healing aspects of it, the choice of music is so varied, right? Like we have heavy metal, jazz, we have ambient, we have classical, that there isn't just one type of music that's like, oh, yes, this is the one and only thing that's the expression of my soul. If we can tap into that variety of expression, we can also see how that variety expression shows up in the world. And so for myself, when I can feel that way in my body physically, I know where I can tune in and find what is that frequency, note, rhythm, melody that is calling to be released through my body. And
Mm.
sometimes what that can end up looking like is going to a concert and standing in front of the bass speaker and just feeling that bass
Yeah.
on the back of my body, right? And it's my hair is flowing with each beat, right? Just because it's so intense. And that type of melodic intensity doesn't happen out in the regular world, right? And so for me to be able to tune into what feels really good to my body and being able to find people, places, and spaces that allow for that creates such a release in my body that it just feels incredibly good. And that sensation of goodness that I enjoy in my body, that somatic expression, is something that I've done a lifetime of learning. So on like the physical plane, yeah, so that's the sound aspect. And then on the physical plane, like I know my physical body is a vessel. It's also the dashboard to how I navigate through life. And so when I understand how my dashboard operates, I know how I can navigate through like a straightaway where it's just like, yes, we're moving very quickly. Or is this a windy path where we need to be a little bit slow and more cautious? And that shows up in my body. And I've learned that through my Eastern philosophy practice in music, in movement. I did. I have done martial arts. I have a black belt in karate, and the style that I studied is Goju-Ryu, which means a hard and soft style out of Okinawa. So there's a lot
Wow.
of beautiful Japanese and Eastern philosophy that's tied into that part of my lifelong learning on the physical plane, as well as yoga. Yoga that I was taught by someone in India long before there was any westernized yoga here in
Wow.
in Canada and the United States. Yeah, and it was just natural because I come from an Indian background where
Mm.
there's like movement and what does that look like moving? And playing sports as well, like basketball, volleyball. I golf. I love skiing. I love boating. I love hiking, all of these outdoor things. And Vancouver is a beautiful space to do that, where we have local mountains that allow for that skiing. And then on the spiritual aspects, this is where it gets a little bit fun, is that I grew up in a household that had like four of the major religions by each of our family members. So my dad was Hinduism, which was the main practice in the home. My mom was Christian and Catholic. And so because she's married to my dad, we were following his traditions, but she grew up with that. Her mom, my grandmother, is Roman Catholic, praying every day, right?
Wow.
Studying all the time. And then my grandfather, her husband, my mom's dad, was a Buddhist. And so just that very grounded peacefulness. And so growing up in an environment where that was broadly accepted, and also in a neighborhood that was, in the suburbs at the time, and, being invited by our neighbors to go to church. And so we go to various denominations of church and learn church that way. And then as I grew older, a little bit more refined Christianity and other various um, religious aspects. And so I've always been curious, like, what is the common thread through all of these things,
Hmm.
right? And so that frequency of love is the absolute base, the absolute base. It's not even a feeling, it's a frequency. And it's the ground foundation where everything else starts to grow and expand from. And so my learning in being a human is like, how do we maintain just this very base level of what does love look and feel like? And how do I act from that space of love? Now we apply
Wow.
sound to that, and sound is the amplification of all things. It's also the beginning point of all of creation. And so when I can apply that expression of love amplified out into the world through the singing bowls that are also doing their own harmonic missions as well, it starts to create a really powerful impact that ripples out physically, internally, and then outwardly in the world, in the community around you. So this
Wow.
is what I'm called here to do. Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah,
Um,
thanks.
wow. It's just a great, really great condensed explanation of your wonderful life you've had. You know, it
Very
it's
condensed.
very, very easy, very I really relate to a lot of that in a way of me as a dance coach, movement coach, and everything that I do, and even including entertainment and everything that I do, because
Mhm.
you growing up with so much variety of influences, you know, in different ways, but also like really liking yourself, if you're liking yourself enough to immerse yourself in different things like sports and yoga and martial arts, and you know what I mean, like you need to really like yourself
Yeah.
and honor yourself
Hmm.
and celebrate yourself to go into so many different things. And I mean, I in my situation of nothing like yours, but I did have a lot of the Christianity, Catholic Christianity influence, and but also growing up with so much of music, you know, influences of different music, you know, and seeing my parents
Yeah.
dancing and me
Yeah.
as a kid watching people dance
Oh,
and
beautiful.
and like me creating stories in my room and playing with my toys and creating like stories in movies and like
Wonderful.
I don't know, you know, we grew up with some, all of us, I think, have a lot of different kind of influences in different ways. And you've tuned in so much into, you knew how to kind of tune in into yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, honoring you yourself and understanding that everything comes from love, from the heart, from love.
Yeah.
And, that's hard. It is, and I commend you for that. It's hard. You know, a lot of people don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. They're lost. They don't know. They're kind of, you know, they want something. They need like, and
Yeah.
for you to find that is commendable. I think to narrow it down to love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you.
And
I'll say to that is that I'm so grateful that through all of those things that I'm learning about, the people who taught me, the teachers that taught me in all of the various things that I've learned, I feel as though it was possible to continue that embodiment and teaching and receiving of love, that reciprocity of love that keeps the expansion happening, is because those teachers fully loved what they were teaching. My sensei loved martial arts. My ukulele instructor loves playing her ukulele and teaching people how to play ukulele, right? And even my coaches that I've had through all the various sports that I've played and continue to learn, they love teaching it. They love seeing their students excel at it. And so being a student and keeping that student frame of mind really, really helps for that reciprocity, that growth, that I talk about synergy in that opportunity to how can I be in receiving ship? How can I be in a student mind and receive? And as a teacher, how can I step into really sharing and empowering and bringing that leadership forward into people who are wanting to learn and grow? And so when I can see that in my life this way, then as an adult myself and as a parent, there's that same sort of how do I continue to love the things that I love and share that out into the world, whether it's received or not, but ideally it's being received by people who are also wanting to receive and be curious around it. And then they can also instill that and bring that forward. And so it's so important, I feel, um, when we can understand when we are sitting in prayer or meditation, when we receive that information that really lights us up, that gives that spark of like, oh, I really love this. I really want to do this. This really makes me happy. To absolutely do not stand in your way of making that true.
It's powerful. Yeah, yeah. I mean, wow, big time resonates with me in a way of the same way. Like you cannot really get away from your real self. You know, you
Yeah.
can't. Like you say, you can't stand. You know, if you do, you're not really gonna enjoy life as the way that you were meant to. I think when you
Hmm.
really tune into that energy, you know, that frequency you're talking about. And then
Hmm.
also loving like what you do. It doesn't matter what it is. Because I mean, society and life in this matrix, I mean, we're conditioned to like a lot of times to not really, what is this? You know, I remember like always saying, oh, I want to do what I love. I want to follow my dreams. And they're like, what? Like people didn't really get it a lot of times. And,
Sure, yeah.
you know, and it's like, well, you need to kind of have a job. You need to have this. You need to have that. You know, there's a certain
Sure.
structure, right? And then I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to have a job that I don't want to do. I want to have something that I love.
Yeah.
And dance and everything that I do has been the love of my life. Like it's saved me from so much and it's taking me to places like amazing places, you know, I
Mhm.
met amazing people. And for you, it's like tuning into that sound, you know, so I love music, right? And tuning into that sound when you can transmit the sound through your own body first. So
Yeah.
it makes you powerful. It makes you feel, you're like a channel for this sound comes through your body, and then you give it to the person that needs it. That's
Hmm.
amazing. And I mean, like I think you one time you said something on an Instagram post or something where you said you should hum to the sound when you're meditating or something. And I do that all the time. I chant and I do my hums and ha's and you know, because the
Hmm.
vibration of the own body, of our own body, is the best sound. The vibration that we have
Yeah.
in our body, the cells, everything moving, you know, is and what comes out of our body, that's the best sound, you know, that there is really,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know. And so, yeah, and so anyway, so what I want to get to is like somebody comes to you, you don't know what they really need. They come to you because they're open to this already. So but you don't know what's
Hmm.
going on in their lives, right? Let's say
Yeah.
you have a group of people. I actually attended one of your sessions and I loved it. Um,
Thank you. Yeah. Got me
it
there.
and you have this amazing calming energy, very welcoming, calming, very loving energy. That was it's very easy to just to listen to your voice and just like lie down and listen to you a little bit.
That's very
That's already
kind.
start, that's already a frequency that you are sending out. Your voice by itself calms your it
Thank
calms
you.
your nervous system a little bit. There was a lady in there that was it was very interesting, and I think I might be talking too much right now, but I want to ask you this.
No, that's
So
okay. Please do.
there's a lady there that was going through a lot of hardship and pain from something, and she was angry. I remember she saying that,
Okay.
and you might not remember it, but I remember it. I'm thinking, how did she come in with anger? Because anger calls you back,
Mm.
right? It kind of keeps you in a state of like it's heavy, you know.
Mm.
So for you to have different people there you don't know what's going on in people's lives. How do you tune in yourself and how do you express it out so everybody gets something out of it? Basically,
Yeah.
the question of I wanted to ask you after everything I just said. But
Yeah, that's a great question. So I know that music and sound heals, but I don't call myself a healer. So I'm not titling myself as a sound healer.
sure,
It's
okay,
something that happens.
fair enough. Yeah.
The healing aspect comes from the own individual. I highly encourage that you cannot find that healing outside of yourself. It is you. Your body knows how to heal itself. The body knows what it wants. The consciousness around it knows what it wants. It is not external. So this is why I don't call myself a sound healer because it says, oh, you need to come to me because I'm going to heal
Mm,
you. No, I'm going
mm,
to hold a space that's going to be of frequency for you to be open to if you are willing and wanting to receive that information to come in, and your body will know what to do with it. And so it doesn't matter where on the energetic spectrum you are at. If you are here in shame, grief, anger, that is just as equally important as being in a state of joy, happiness, peace, enlightenment. Because in that space, in the middle of love, it's like all of it is welcome. All of it is there. And so sound and frequency will meet you exactly where you're at. Unlike humans, where we're constantly in this, we're listening and receiving, there may be times where you're just like, oh, I want to interject, or I have some information, I want to tell it to you, right? Whereas sound is like, here's the sound, it's constantly on, the frequency is constantly here. Are you going to keep yourself open enough to receive that? Or are you going to remain closed and in that anger state? It's still going to be here. That sound is still going to be here. That frequency is still there. But until you open yourself up to receive it, you're not going to move forward or move or change or find that dynamic that you're looking for that gets you out of the sensation of feeling anger or grief or sadness. And that's okay. You can stay in that. But it's when you're willing and wanting to move forward that there's other frequencies that are able to meet you at that place.
mm.
So for the woman who was angry, she was wanting to come in and she was tired. She was tired of feeling that sensation of anger. So subconsciously, she's likely more open and receptive to feeling what is going to come through this sound transmission, right? And my job is to stay open and clear to put any of my own issues aside and tune into the bowls so that the bowls become that transmission channel. They become the instrument that brings the information, the sound frequency, the codes from where it needs to come in from there through the bowls and out to you.
Wow.
Like it makes sense to me when I'm when I'm in it as I'm trying to explain it. I was like, is that landing to the audience?
I I
Um,
I think so. I mean,
yeah.
I will kind of put it in a way that maybe everybody can understand that. I think so.
I don't
Well,
know.
see, okay, first of all, everything is energy. Everything, everything is energy.
Yes.
So you have the balls in itself, their energy. So the balls have their own energy
Mm,
frequencies. You have your own energy, and you come together as one, collaborating together to express a certain frequency of of healing. Um, like you said,
mm.
you're not a healer. You don't consider yourself a healer, and I believe everybody kind of is in certain ways, but that's a different thing. But I think that
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I, I think you're collaborating. It's a collaboration with the balls, collaboration with the instruments, with the crystals, or this. It's a collaboration that comes out into the
Yeah.
people's senses, ears, and into the body. Now it's up to the person
Yeah.
to even for that lady to show up and just to go is a big step. because she was angry, but she wasn't that angry.
Absolutely.
She was tired to be angry. She wasn't that angry that she was stay home. She
Yeah.
was gonna stay home. She left the house and went there, and so she's already ready
Yes.
to
Yeah.
heal. She
Yeah.
wants to open. She's open. Maybe I went in
Mm,
there with a different feeling. So uh, it affected us in different ways, but it's up to us
for sure.
to take the medicine, right? According
Yeah.
to
I
what's
mean,
going
you're
on.
already there.
What's that?
Yeah. I mean, you're already there. You're already there in the space. Like something has already called you to that invitation to be in that space with the bulls, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
whether you know what it is or it isn't, it's beyond our own capacity to mentally think and pull it apart and to put it into a logical sense. Like we are beyond that logistics of it. You're already in the quantum field, you're already into the energetic field, and that amplification or that the magnetizing of what the bulls are doing and what the sound space portal is doing is calling that frequency in, right? It's calling you to be in that space. So if you've already found yourself in that space, there's a reason for you to be there. There's an invitation
There's an
beyond.
invitation. Oh,
Yeah, there's an
it's
invitation there
it's
beyond anything
yeah.
that's is having you there. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good way to put it. Is you already are in that field, that quantum field. Basically, you already are. What would I say? You're already healing by the time you decide you want to go to the session. You already are in the process of healing or
Yeah.
growing or moving energy
Yeah.
towards what you want. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so good. Um, the one thing I wanna, okay, so the balls have their own energy now.
Yes.
You were telling me, I think you were saying that during that session that the balls chose you,
Yeah.
or how you explain it so good. I mean, I
Uh,
feel it, I understand all this so good, and I just like love it. Like again, for example, like yeah, there's things that this little crystal I'm wearing, like it shows me. It was crazy.
mhm.
I picked something, and I wasn't sure, and then I all of a sudden this one fell into the box that it wasn't supposed to be in, and I grabbed it, and but it was like boom. My friends, what she was with me, she's like, woo, woo, that's just like wow, that's great. Like it was, and I think, what do you think of that? You think that the Bulls have chosen you for this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. I knew when I first heard a Tibetan bowl, I must have been like 10 years old. And I heard it chime and I watched the water ripple and I watched the lotus flowers sort of like dance around and all that spark. There was like this deep resonance of like, whoa, what was that? What is that sound? I need that. And then when I heard the crystal bowls, it was very much like, if I was a sound, that would be my sound. That's what I want to sound like, right? And like
Wow.
this is at a time when, I went to school to be a lawyer. I was in sales and operations. I served executive roles in a very corporate manner. I built out like manufacturing processes, an ERP system for an Italian manufacturing as it came to Canada and US. So, all of that corporate worlds and systems and logic was not part of playing singing bowls or operating from a frequency space or talking about like today, Neptune is moving into Aries. And so what does that look like for your sign? We're moving out of
Wow.
a snake year into a horse year. What does that mean? Right. And so these are things that I know, but they weren't the forefront of who I was showing up in a career wise. And so when it came to the bulls, when I knew it was time to, I knew that I was going to have them. I didn't know when, right? And we never know the how. And I remember going, okay, I think, it's just an hour outside of my road trip. Let me just go in and see if I'll have one. I'll start off with one and then we'll see what happens. Well, as soon as I decided it was one, it was very much, you're leaving with three. I'm like, how am I going to leave with three? I knew I had my mindset on one
Did you feel that before you went or after when you were there?
before, before,
Wow.
before
Mm,
it was on my way there.
mm.
then when I was there, it's very much like when you go into a room, like how you discussed how we met here in Vancouver. It's very much like that. You get a sensation or a pull of like, oh, what is that? That calls to me a little bit more. That calls to me a little bit more. And so already being in that practice of knowing what is to have my attention and vice versa, it was that way with the bowls. So it was like, oh, what do you have to share with me? What do you have to share with me? Right. And so fortunately, the bowls that I had selected, they were a harmonious set to each other. So they were in the proper keys, they were in the proper frequency, they were in the proper
Mhm.
fifths, so that as they played, regardless of which ones were playing, they would be harmonious. So as a set, they were harmonious, which was like, I had no idea. I was just like, this one looks nice. This one is pretty. I like how this one sounds. But really, in the bigger scheme of all of that, was this intuitive knowing that they were calling me for them to be able to play together. And so, as I use that as my work, and this was before Soundspace Portal, right? So, this was before even knowing that this studio was going to happen.
Oh,
And so,
wow.
having them in my life and then feeling, yeah. And then feeling when it was time to open Soundspace Portal, I was like, I wonder if there's other bulls that want to be in the space. And sure enough, the bulls that I had tried like months and months ago on the first round were available. And so I was like, okay, let's have them apart. And so now, fast forward a few years, and we have bulls that are coming here into Vancouver for the Quantum Sound Institute and for people who want to learn how to play bulls, how to properly understand how to have a relationship with the bulls so that they can listen to them, that they can have a tuning in to the frequency of the bulls and create that coherence so that there's a deeper understanding of the bowl itself. And so my practice with music and presence and consciousness and um, putting my consciousness into the bowl and vice versa, and like you had said, learning and feeling for them has created this opportunity to teach other people how to do that. And so, sound practitioners and people who want to be in sound healing and learn how to use crystal bowls as a modality as a practitioner, a wellness practitioner, can learn how to properly um, be with the bowls, how to receive the information that the bowls are having. And then, as a practitioner, how can a practitioner show up fully aligned to listening to that bowl, whether it's one, three, five, 10, 20, right? It doesn't matter how many in your set, it's the relationship that you have to that frequency to allow for that sound transmission to happen through you as a channel and amplified through the bowl.
Oh, well, amazing. Wow. This is like so good.
It
You've
was
done
so
a
good.
lot. Was that?
I was like, yeah, that was so good.
That was really good.
Nice.
That's what I actually call into the flow, girl.
Yeah, I was going. I was like,
That
oh, I should
when
probably
you're
breathe here.
flow, you're just flowing so good, and I love this conversation. Like, so this when you mentioned that, oh, I want if I was a sound, I would want to sound like that. Like, just makes so much
Mm,
sense in my life. Like, so big, and
yeah, yeah.
from that connection, anything that you create, anything that you move forward with, things would just fall in your lap, really, honestly. When you have that
Mhm. Yeah.
amazing tune, you're tuning in, tapped in with source, and so open that way. I mean, sound to me, I've always loved sound so much. I mean, I used to sing. I've done, musicals in my career, and beatbox and all that kind of stuff. And with my dancing, like
Cool.
I have this connection with rhythm, sound, with movement that is just it takes me into different places. So when you said that, I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? I understand that so much, and it's so simple. Like it's so what's the word? Like it's I forget. I don't want to say this word, but I forgot it right now. But it's like it makes so much sense. Make it more simple than we complicate things so much. I think as humans sometimes, and it's very
Hmm.
simple. A lot of things are so simple. Like to
Hmm.
me. joy is simple.
Mm.
To me, laughter is simple. Like when when you have the opposite, it feels strange in the body because it's not natural. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so sound will put you in a state of that simplicity, I think,
Hmm.
of the joy and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So, yeah, for sure.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yes, no, 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 please.
There is a difference between sound and music, right? And so music is all of that wonderful collection of sound. But sound in itself is around us all of the time. The challenge is that the sound that we've been exposed to, especially in cities that are busy, is not harmonious sound. The
Yes.
sound is not a full frequency. It's just a little bit off that creates a dissonance in our physical body. And so we start to receive all of this sound that's not harmonious, puts our body into tension, right? It starts to make us go a little bit crazy. Like my body is sore, I can't think clearly, I'm in this fog. My body's not starting to feel well, like I have joint pain, I have back pain, I have like I can't breathe very well, right? Because the sound is around us is not harmonious, right? I would love, and I keep saying this, and I've been saying this for years, I would love for manufacturers of construction sites to create their instruments, the tools at a certain frequency so that when you are on a job site using particular tools, it creates a harmonious symphony of sound. It doesn't have to
Mm,
make music, but it can create a sound from the tools that when they are operating all at the same time, it creates a harmonious frequency sound that resonates outwards. That would
wow.
change so much in city environment for sure.
This what you just said is so what you just said is so wow. It's mind blowing because it
Yeah.
again there again is a simplicity of it. Like the right frequency makes us either tight or or free
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
and what's the universe frequency? What is there different frequencies in the universe? And of course, it's got to be different
Yeah. So
frequencies. But
mother,
what is the
yeah.
main one that is? You know what I mean? You know what I'm
Yeah,
asking,
so
right?
the yeah, yeah. So Mother Nature's frequency, it's like 7, 8 hertz. It's so harmonious, the vibration that Mother Nature gives. So when you go on vacation, you go to the beach and you hang out at the beach, or you go to the forest and you go for a forest walk, or if you go into the mountains, right? There is a certain calmness that overcomes your body. You can feel it sort of like expand outwards because Mother Nature's frequency is so tuned to what our body should be operating at. We are one with nature. We are the environment around us, right? And so more often that we can go into those spaces that are harmonious and have that natural frequency sound, our body starts to calibrate to that and only wants that, right? So now when you
Mm.
go from being outside at the beach, receiving all of the sunlight, right? Because you're in San Diego, right? Receive all of that sunlight, all of that calm, all of that rest and peace. And now when you come indoors into your home or into your office, you want to start to create that same sort of sound frequency, that same calm, that same quiet, right? So you're probably not going to have the phone ringer on blast, right? Because the sound of the ringing will interrupt your day. You'll probably want to have more calming music. You'll probably want to open the windows at nighttime so you can hear the sound of the night air coming in and out. And so your body starts to learn what it's like to be in a natural state by tuning into the sounds of Mother Nature, the waves, the wind, the trees, the birds when they're singing.
Wow. Every time I go to the ocean or the forest, I mean, when I hear at night, I leave the window open and I hear the crickets and I hear owls, so soothing, so nice for the nervous system, so calming.
Yeah.
And it's true, nature, even the wind through the branches, a breeze through the branches is the best to me, like the best sound. Um, Such a
Mm,
beautiful sound.
mhm.
And it's so interesting you said about big cities. One of the things that I was talking to a friend is kind of he believes in all these conspiracy theories and things, but like talking about the way that sometimes society kind of wants to control people's minds. You know what I mean? In certain ways,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not to talk about this because this is not really going into the flow of what I'm talking about, but it makes sense what you just said. You know what I mean? It makes sense what you said. Is like humans are getting sicker uh, in their nervous system is getting the nervous system is getting
hmm
sick, and all this the immune system and the nerve all the systems in our body work together as one. Like, and we're a wellness
hmm
making machine. Our bodies are a wellness making machine, always wellness.
hmm
So when you have that off thing going on there from a sound construction, those cars with the alarms, boom, boom,
yeah.
the guys that are cleaning here in San Diego is very popular to have people cleaning with the leaf blowers,
Okay.
zzz, and it just it makes me feel weird, that sound. It just doesn't go. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that kind of sound going on.
Yeah.
The news has a really bad, what I would call it, frequency. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, is there bad frequencies?
I think there's disharmonious frequencies. I don't think
Yes.
they're bad. So people who are listening, like let's say the news, for example, there are people who are listening to the news who are absolutely tuned in to everything that the news is saying, and to them, it's a truth. It's not wrong. It's their journey of believing what truth is. And so the news frequency that is being broadcasted is a resonant truth for somebody else. It's not for me, and maybe it's not for you, but for many people who are pulled into that frequency, they attune to that frequency. People who have watched the news and now stop watching the news have learned to recalibrate their body outside of that system. So
Mm,
that news frequency is there, it'll exist. You stop watching the news, you tune into something else, your body starts to naturally calibrate to something
wow,
else. That's
wow,
the news. Yeah.
wow. And you just hit it
So,
right on the nose. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, if we can look at people in society and to our neighbors, our friends, the community, and recognize that everyone is on their own journey, receiving truth at a truth that is resonant for them at that moment, then we can allow them to exist in that way. We don't need to force them to change or be any other way, right? We can accept that the fact that, yes, there is news out there that's broadcasting a message that's not good to bodies that are wanting to be at its optimal performance, right? For me, I know that there's another way to be in an optimal present way with my environment, with Mother Nature, with the bowls, right? So I don't have time or space to tune into a frequency that is not going to be supportive to that expression of being with my bowls, to be in the presence of love, to create in an atmosphere of infinite possibility, right?
Mm, wow. It, it's kind of it's kind of like I was telling somebody. I'm like, I can't go back
Yes.
once you remember who you are, once you tune in into the universe frequency, source, love. I mean, once you know that, once you tap into, you can't go back.
No.
And you make a very good example of like the news. It's like tuning into what you want, focusing on what you want. There's on the stick. There's two ends: what you want and what you don't want. Tuning into what you want, you
Yeah.
know, and focusing on what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
What you know, and then you realize when you understand how your body heals, and how you create when you create from that vibration,
Yeah.
just like, yeah, you don't want to lower your vibration.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into a low vibration. You want to stay on your high vibration.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're thirsty. I'm like, I get thirsty, like, I need to meditate. Yeah, I want to meditate because, I want to dance. I want to, I
Yeah.
want to sing. I want to like laugh. Like I want to go in nature because that's the natural state, the
Yes.
way that
Yeah.
I want to feel. Like you said, everybody's got their own thing, and we're in respecting everybody's right. But you think that by listening to, maybe, let's say, let's go back to the news. If you're always listening to the news, you think people might be sick, physically more, mentally, nervously. Like, what do you think of that? Like the difference versus, let's say, somebody is doing,
Yeah.
let's say, sound healing, a lot of sound healing
Yeah.
meditation. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. That's a hard one to talk about. So
Yeah,
because I don't know like what someone who's watching the news, are they also like watching the news while they are doing cardio and eating really well, or are they not,
yeah.
right? Like every individual is looking and taking care of themselves very differently. And it may not be that they're taking care of themselves. Maybe so I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that you're right around the once you understand a truth that's true for you, there's no going back. And so if you meet somebody who, and this may also be a generational thing where a generation, we used to be able to tune into the news and receive a truth, right? That what's being broadcast now is very far from what it used to be or what journalism used to be or wants to hold title for. And so, if you're watching news without critically thinking about the information that's coming to you, and you are now moving into trying to move away from the news and finding out what your own truth is, I feel like that's the gap that people don't know. How do I get here? How do I get to my truth? What does that like? Here's Gustavo and Henrietta talking about their truth and it feels good in their body. And it's like, what is that? How do I get there? What are you talking about? I go outside all the time. I don't listen to the news, So they may already be in that process of discovering what is their own internal truth, but there hasn't been full guidance around, well, what does that actually look and feel like? Because right now it's only what people are telling me,
Mm,
right? It's
mm,
only what people are telling me. So if you're telling me that he feels good when he's dancing, so that's what's going to make me feel good, I'm going to go do that. So I go and dance and I'm stumbling over my two left feet and I can't figure out the rhythms. Like, this is awful. I don't like it, but I'm going to keep doing it because Gustavo says dancing is really good and it makes him feel really good. Well, it might not be doing for you, right? Like, if it's making you feel so frustrated and angry with yourself, right? And you can't get past that, don't keep doing that. Try the other thing. Try maybe writing. Maybe just writing or drawing or painting is your expression, is where truth feels really good and expressive in your body. Right. And so, going back to how you were asking me, like, yes, I've tried all of these things. I'm curious about experiencing life fully. And if you are now in a space where you want to try and understand what feels good, go and try all the various things and give it a solid trial. Give it a season to try it, right? Give it full 90 days where you are fully committed to that one thing and see
mm,
if it actually is the expression of truth that allows you to come into a center point where truth can be channeled through you with flow, that you are in that flow.
mm.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's not for everybody.
you've said so many amazing things there.
I mean, this is what
And
I do. This is why I want people to come and see me and be guided, right? So that you can
it's
find.
yeah, because exactly, like, wow. So basically, one thing that I got in there is very good. So how do we never been taught in this life to think this way and feel and approach everything's life this way? So there's a lot of resistance in society when we talk about this, right? Um, for example, I was talking to one of my clients, and she's a painter, and she's like, I do not understand meditation. I don't meditate. I can't meditate. I don't know how to quiet the mind, but
Right.
I meditate when I'm painting,
Yes.
and I'm like, perfect. You found your area of meditation, your area where you are quieting your mind and you're focusing on the art, right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna tell her, no, you gotta do it this way. You gotta close your eyes. You gotta,
Totally.
right? But like you said, you have to, it has to resonate in your body. Where we go back to the same thing. It's simple. It's more simple than we make it look, like we make it sound.
Mm.
What is your body telling you? What is your inner being saying? Where is it
Hmm.
guiding you to? Right?
Yeah.
Where do you feel the most comfortable? And you feel when you get out of there, you feel like, oh, I feel good. Like it was, you know what I mean? Maybe writing, or maybe like whatever you were saying, different things. Doesn't have to be sound healing or dancing or anything.
Yeah.
Um, but the issue that I think a lot of times that people don't know how to let go of that resistance and of all the influence, right? Of this has got to be done this way, that's got to be done that way. I can't. Um, I want to take dancing because I want to lose weight. I'm not losing the weight, so I'm not gonna dance anymore, or whatever else. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure. A condition tied to it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of conditioning, right? And
Yeah.
so that was so powerful when you said that. It's like, yeah, you gotta find what the path of this resistance. What is it that drives you into this, into knowing yourself, and to like be happier and more
Yeah.
relaxed. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what that's eventually that's what we want. We want to be more relaxed, more like joyful.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Not go
There's
ahead.
something
Yes.
that you did when you were here teaching a dance class that I feel is so important, and I touched a little bit about it earlier, is the teacher who loves the thing that they're doing to, right? Because what happens if, or if I'm somebody new who wants to go and try something, I'm already scared and nervous, right? But I'm like, oh, I gotta go and try it. And then imagine walking into a brand new space with brand new people to learn a brand new thing, and the teacher doesn't say hello, and the teacher doesn't welcome you into the space, and the host ignores you. How awful of an experience is that for the person who's trying to step into a place that's new, into a community that may be new, with people who may or may not get along with? It is frightening as heck. And there's a generation of people who will not go and try something because the teacher or the host of the space does not know how to welcome them in.
Mm.
That they're missing the ability to drop their shield and say, hi, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. Let's learn through this together. I am here to serve you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
If people who knew how to hold space in that way, to recognize every soul that's coming to them is seeking for that awareness to be acknowledged, that they're going through something difficult and is looking for light in some way, and you are that light and you don't shine it in that direction, it's such a missed opportunity to have someone grow into their own truth, into their own fullness. And so for teachers and space holders, instructors, like go over and say hello. Go over and connect with them. And I witnessed you do that many times, several times in different places, where you just go over and you're fully present with them. I know when we met, like I had thought to myself, I would love to learn how to partner dance with somebody, but I haven't found the right instructor and I haven't found the right partner to be able to do that. And when I saw you take up our friend Suzette to go dance, like, look at them having so much fun. I'm so happy for them both. And I knew that the tempo of dance that I needed had to be slower. And so when the tempo of dance finally slowed down, and you're like, okay, now we're going to go dance. You were so present in inviting me into the space to a pace that I am comfortable at and instructing very simple steps for me to follow. And that whole time, it wasn't very long, like it's less than 5 minutes of dancing. I think the song was only like 3 minutes long, right? But in those 3 minutes, you taught me so much about how to hold my body, the posture, what I should feel for from a dancing partner. Like, what are my feet doing? Okay, I don't need to worry about my feet anymore. I can be present back up here with you in like less than 5 minutes. It was phenomenal. It was because you love the thing that you're doing, you're open teaching, and you're open to inviting me in a very gentle way, knowing what it was, like you saw me, you saw what it was that I required at that time to be able to learn at a pace that I was comfortable at. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that.
Oh, wow.
And
Mm.
to show what an instructor can be like and the impactfulness that they can have. So yeah, you did that.
Wow. Thank you so much for all that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that so much. And you did the same thing when I went into your class, into your session. And yeah, it's the love, it's the genuine love of you doing something. I would dance and teach dance and coach and anything for free. You know, it's like I just love it. And I love the connection with the people and their smile and their laughter and their, when they get the step, when they feel comfortable. And like you said, yeah, it was just a very natural, energetically kind of way to just wait to ask you to dance until the dance felt comfortable for you to
Yeah,
get up and dance with me. And it was just
yeah,
it's a very natural, it was very natural. It
yeah,
wasn't forced. It was like, yeah, I think it's the time to ask her to dance.
yeah.
And
Thank you for that gift. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
and just going to your students and just say how you doing and just like smile at them and connect. It's very important. Well, I like to do that in my classes to have that connection when
Yeah,
each I go and dance with them and look at them and walk around and clap. And
yeah.
even if I don't dance with them, I just, yeah, and I look at them and I point and I go, because I want to move around the room. And I will
That's
get
right.
to you and you'll smile and you dance a bit and I leave you you know what I mean? It's just getting that energy, spread the energy around.
Yeah,
And so you're doing that with sound and frequencies, and I commend you for that. It's so good. And
thank
you're
you.
you are a very your your name divine goes with your presence for sure, you
Thank
know,
you.
and keep doing what you're doing. I think we're kind of at the end of the show here, but it's been an amazing conversation. I've been your
Yes, it
I
has.
would love to have you back, part two, when you have the time, but because
Will
it's so
do.
much to talk about, and I want to ask you just for kind of the last question that I ask all my guests, like,
Mhm.
let's say you are in this big auditorium and you have all these high school students that are graduating,
Yeah.
and then you are being a guest speaker and you want to say something that really resonates and really goes into their being as something out of the norm, out of the, you gotta try hard and you gotta like, and you got like, what what would you say to them? What would you say to all these kids that don't have
Yeah.
no idea? I mean, and a lot of the kids, when I was a kid, my energy was already, I was already, I knew what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
I was nervous and ashamed to say it. you know. So I want to
Yeah.
follow the norm. But I'm like, so some kids know. Some kids are so in tune with source and with the inner being. They're so in tune that, but it's kind of scary. I'm like, you are going into the real world. What would you say to them? What would
Yeah,
the
I love this. I love this question because the younger generation, especially babies that are being born now, they're already tapped into source. They're coming fully equipped with source information already. So as parents who are becoming parents to newborns, listen to them, protect them, listen to them. They have much more to say than we
Oh yeah.
have to teach them. For kids that are in elementary school, that are graduating elementary school or graduating high school, uh, really take this time to learn who you are at the core, and stay true to that and find the people to support you in maintaining that truth, to maintaining who you are. Because you're going to change so many times in this lifetime. The future is so uncertain. And especially now in this day and age, the future has not yet been created. You are the future creators. And so, how the world has been teaching people, young people especially, like, you should be like this and you should be doing that. And this is what success looks like. Yeah, maybe take that with a grain of salt. But where your true successes are going to come and where you're really going to shine is when you understand who you are and stay true to that truth, to that core, and create from that place. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're going to be doing. It doesn't matter as long as you're finding that joy and that presence in that creation where you are in the flow, where you're feeling expanded. That is what living your life in flow can feel like, with so much joy and so much peace and so much love.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You really got to go and do this for real. And you got to go. Wow. That was a, thank you so much. That was great. Thank you for your time,
Thank
your,
you.
your presence, your energy. You're beautiful. You're amazing, powerful queen that is doing a very important, bringing a very important message to the collective, to us, and keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you so much. And thank you everybody for tuning in and watching.
Thank you,
Again,
everyone.
you can go to Spotify and YouTube. And apologies for whatever technical issues there's been a little bit about the internet, things like that. But the message is there.
Be
Take it,
true to you.
use it. Woo, feel good with it. All right,
Yes.
Henrietta, thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for your time
Crystal.
again.
Thank
We'll be
you.
talking soon.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
stay into the flow, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Bye, Henrietta. Bye.
Bye.